Christmas Eve and we're ready to bring you stories from around the world and here at home. Good evening, I'm Sharon Mascreens.
A very good evening to you. I'm Shahar Herat, and let's first have a look at the headlines for tonight.
The court issued arrest warrants for parliamentarian Rajitha Senaratne. Former minister partly released on bail. The driver was taken into remand custody. 4, including 3 Indian nationals, have been killed in an accident which occurred in the Southern Expressway. The president stated that he will fully commit to uplift the welfare of the artists. Christmas will be dawned at midnight today.
And now moving on to a top story this evening. Colombo Magistrates Court issued a warrant this evening to arrest former minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne and produce him before the court over the controversial white van media conference incident. The Attorney General Dappula de Oliveira has instructed the CID to obtain a warrant from the court for the arrest of former minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne. Accordingly, Colombo Magistrates Court issued the arrest warrant after considering the submissions presented by Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Papiris, who represented the CID. The Deputy Solicitor General informed the court that the former minister had used 2 persons who are in police custody for a media conference during the recently concluded presidential election over the alleged abductions carried out using white vans. He also told the court that former minister has committed an offence under the provisions of the Penal Code and the Presidential Election Act. Therefore, the Deputy Solicitor General requested the courts to issue a warrant to arrest and produce him before courts. Accepting the request, Colombo Additional Magistrate V. Nelumdenia issued the relevant warrant. Meanwhile, many parliamentarians were present at the residence of former minister this evening. The anticipatory bail application presented by former minister requesting to prevent his arrest over the white van incident in a previous occasion was rejected. Subsequently, the Colombo Magistrates Court ordered to consider the third bail application presented by parliamentarian Dr. Rajitha Senaratne on the 30th of December. The court has imposed a ban on overseas travels for the former minister. The individuals involved in the controversial media conference were produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrate on the 16th of December and was ordered to be remanded till the 27th. It was revealed that they have been allegedly receiving money to take part in the media briefing.
Former Minister Partali Champika Ranawaka, who was in remand custody, has been released on bail. It was in accordance to an order issued by the Colombo Additional Magistrate Kanchana Niranjan de Silva. Meanwhile, the magistrate ordered to remand the driver of the former minister, Thusita Alvis, till January 6th. The magistrate released the former minister on bail today while ordering him to refrain from influencing the witnesses. Accordingly, he was released on a cash bail of 25,000 rupees and 2 sureties of 500,000 rupees each. He was also ordered to report to the Colombo Crimes Division on the last Sunday of each month between 9 a.m. till 12 noon. The Deputy Solicitor General pointed out to the courts that the vehicle involved in the accident had been transferred from a ministry to another ministry, which is illegal. He also pointed out that the objective of this court case is to bring forth justice against the abuse of the country's law through the use of political power and certain personnel in the police force without targeting an individual. Representing former Minister Champika Ranawaka, President's Counsel Maitri Gunaratne said that the Attorney General's Department has been acting in a biased manner. At this point, Attorney Anuja Premaratne, representing the former minister, opposed the claims made by the President's Counsel and said that he had previously worked in the Attorney General's Department and the institution always maintains an unbiased approach to the cases. The Deputy Solicitor General informed the court that since the driver of the former minister has been purposely hidden away, the CID has not been able to record a statement from him. Subsequently, the attorney reprinting the former minister took steps to produce the driver before the courts. The Deputy Solicitor General requested the courts to issue an order to keep the driver in remand custody. With the objects raised from the attorney representing the former minister, a disrupting situation erupted in the court premises. The magistrate then strictly advised the attorneys to behave in a disciplined manner within the court premises. The magistrate further mentioned that the Deputy Solicitor General has the complete authority to present submissions on behalf of the Attorney General. After considering the progress made in the investigations, the magistrate ordered to keep the driver of the former minister, Tusitha Kumara, in remand custody until January 6th. The magistrate granted permission to the CID to record statements from the driver. The next hearing of the case will be taken up on December 6th. Meanwhile, the wife of the driver, Tusitha Kumara, filed a fundamental rights petition with the Supreme Court against several officers attached to the Colombo Crimes Division. 15 individuals have been named as defendants. Parliamentarian Party leader Champika Ranawaka extended his gratitude for taking steps to ensure the freedom of the independent judiciary. He also extended his gratitude for leader of the UMP Ranil Wickremesinghe, Speaker of the House Karu Jayasuriya and Parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa.
And now the Cabinet Subcommittee on Cost of Living has convened for the first time under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Presidential Secretariat today. And now during the meeting, special attention was drawn to provide essential food items for the public during the upcoming festive season at concessionary rates and ensuring no shortages. And furthermore, President Rajapaksa instructed the officials to follow a scientific method to purchase harvest from the next season onwards. The President also instructed to broaden the rice shortage for storage facilities across the country. President Rajapaksa also inquired about how the public will receive the benefit of the rice prices controlled by the government. The Consumer Affairs Authority revealed that selling rice at higher prices than the maximum retail price is gradually decreasing and the raids on rice traders have been broadened. They say that swift action will be taken to appraise the traders in this regard. An assessment was held regarding the steps taken by the government to control wheat flour price as well as regarding the tax relief given for other essential food items. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, other ministers and state officials were present at the occasion.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana says that the present Speaker of the House act in a politically biased manner. These remarks were made at a media briefing held in Colombo today. State Minister Susit Premachandra said that when former Minister Basil Rajapaksa was summoned to the FCID after arriving to the country from overseas at 8 a.m. and continued to be interrogated till 6 in the evening, he said that the former parliamentarian was then taken to the Kaduvela courts and kept him at the court premises till 10:30 p.m. He added that the hearing was held until 11 p.m. and then an order was issued to remand the former minister. The State Minister pointed out that both the Attorney General's instructions or the permission of the Speaker were not obtained when the former parliamentarian was taken into custody. However, he said that the Speaker of the House and the Deputy Speaker of the House have remembered that their consent should be obtained when arresting a parliamentarian. He said that the law enforcement officials should act within the legal framework despite whether it is night or day. He also added that the Speaker of the House position should not be involved in politics during the decision-making processes.
And now 4 individuals have died from a road accident which occurred last night in the Southern Expressway. 3 Indian nationals are among the dead and the accident occurred at the 62nd kilometre post between Kurundugaha Hatakma and Valipanna exits. The accident had occurred when the van which was travelling from Galle to Colombo had crashed into the back of a container truck. According to the police, the van driver had also died from the accident. At the time of the accident, 6 Indian nationals were travelling in the van. All the Indian nationals who met with the accident are from the same family from India. The victims have been identified as a 44-year-old Indian woman, her 18-year-old son and the 80-year-old father of the woman. Her husband and the daughter, who are injured in the accident, had been admitted to the Karapitiya hospital for further treatment. The van driver is a resident of Vadua area. The expressway police have stated that the accident had occurred as the driver of the van had fallen asleep on the wheel, and the remains of the 3 Indian nationals who died from the accident were handed over to the Indian High Commission this evening.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he will commit to uplift the local arts industry or welfare of the artists during his tenure. The president made these remarks at a cordial discussion held with the artists last evening. The discussion was held at the President's residence. The event was organized to felicitate artists who worked for the victory of the President at the presidential election. President Rajapaksa said that the government will act according to a strategy in compliance with the policy of protecting the identity and culture of the nation. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and other ministers and parliamentarians were present on this occasion.
President
Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that a policy to ensure the local businessman, local farmer and local artist has been embedded into the national policy statement. He said that the present government will commit to uplift each sector in the local arts field within his tenure. The president said that the Run Minithanna built for local artists in Hambantota by then President Mahinda Rajapaksa has not been utilized in the past couple of years. He said that the preparations have been made to further improve the facilities at Run Minithanna for the use of the local artists and invited them to utilize these facilities. The president said the several positions in various institutions were allocated for artists, considering the commitment and within a policy framework to felicitate local artists.
And now it's Christmas Eve, and the Christian devotees around the country are enthusiastically preparing to celebrate Christmas, which will be dawned at midnight today. This is by giving priority for religious observances.
And on the same story, yes, all preparations are underway for the live telecast of the midnight service of St. Sebastian's Church in Katuapitiya. And we have Reverend Father Sachitha Jailath, who will take us through the preparations for the midnight service.
We are at St. Sebastian's Church, Katuapitiya. When I say that we are at St. Sebastian's Church, you will go back to many memories in your memory lane. From 21st April, 8 months have gone. Today, we are at the Christmas Eve, looking forward to celebrate the Christmas Mass. We are indeed grateful and thankful to Almighty God. As a community, as a family, our people who were shattered and stricken in their faith have risen up, and then they are having great hope. Hope in God, faith in God. And as they are striving towards celebrating Christmas, we are also joyful that His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, our Chief Shepherd, is coming to join to celebrate this Holy Eucharistic celebration, Midnight Mass, with us. He had been a loving father to this community since April 21st. After the tragic event, Katuapitiya people has become his own children. And then we are thankful to His Eminence as he is coming to celebrate this Holy Mass with us. He is bringing hope to our people. He is bringing joy to our people. He is coming to celebrate and share His Christmas message with our people, and then we are indeed grateful to Him. As we are celebrating this Christmas, we are inviting you all, our faithful, to join us to celebrate Christmas with us. And the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is telecasting it live at 11:45. We are also thankful to them as annually they are telecasting this live Mass in their Rupavahini channel.
And now moving on to Christmas in Bethlehem. The intricately carved wooden nativity displays in Bethlehem shop windows are made from oil trees that are more than 2,000 years old, attracting enormous attention of the tourists. The wooden manger displays are some of the most popular souvenirs bought by tourists visiting the town that is by tradition the birthplace of Jesus Christ.
The intricately carved nativity scenes in Bethlehem shop windows are an impressive sight. But what many people don't know is that some of the wood used to create them comes from olive trees older than the events of the story they depict. That's right, wood from a tree that was planted over 2,000 years ago. The wooden manger displays are some of the most popular souvenirs bought by tourists visiting the town that is by tradition the birthplace of Jesus. They cost anything from $2 to $70,000. And to be clear, shop owners say they aren't allowed to cut down a healthy tree. That's illegal and a huge fine. Instead, most wood comes from branches that fall during the pruning season. They're carved in one of around 125 workshops in Bethlehem, each putting its own distinctive stamp on the figurines of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the shepherds, wise men and angels. It's known that the olive tree is a holy tree in Palestine, says this worker. We make artefacts from a holy tree for the tourists that come to Palestine from all over the world. The wood comes from trees in the Palestinian city of Ramallah.
Meanwhile, Santa Claus departed from his home inside the Arctic Circle yesterday to begin his annual journey around the world to deliver Christmas gifts to children around the world. Families gathered at Santa's official residence in the town of Finland, which lies inside the Arctic Circle, to listen to Christmas songs and hear some words of the wisdom from the man himself. As the final preparations were made, Santa spoke to the crowd briefly in Finnish and English, wishing them a peaceful and a happy Christmas before setting off on the first leg of his journey, which will take him to the North Pole to stock up his sleigh with gifts for lucky children all over the world. Santa will then collect the rest of his reindeer before beginning his longest days of work for the year as he heads off on his Christmas Eve expedition to bring joy to the world.
Very Merry Christmas to each and every one.
And now Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka has been appointed as the new chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. The relevant appointment letter was presented to Dr. Jayatilaka at the Higher Education Ministry this evening. The Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Higher Education and Technology and Innovation, Bandula Gunawardena, presented the appointment letter, and ministry officials were present at the occasion. The newly appointed chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, had assumed ministry secretary positions of Health, Economics, Local Government and Provincial Council ministries in the past. In addition, he has also held the posts of Additional Secretary of Medical Services Unit of the Health Ministry, Health Services Director of the Western Province, and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Institute of Local Governance and Local Loans and Development Fund. Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka was also a member of the boards of directors of the Sri Lanka Electricity Board, Urban Development Authority, Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Sri Lanka Administration Development Institute, Water Supply and Drainage Board, and the Sri Lanka Transport Board.
South Korean ambassador to Sri Lanka, Lee Hong, met with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa this morning. The attention of the meeting was drawn to uplift the economic cooperation between Sri Lanka and South Korea. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa directed the attention of the South Korean ambassador over the rapid completion of the projects delayed during the past few years. Maritime University and the Kandy Tunnel projects are among the delayed projects. South Korean ambassador to Sri Lanka, Lee Hong, has said that he believes with the present political transformation in the country, an encouraging economic background will be created for the South Korean companies to function in an optimal manner. The ambassador also said that a high-level South Korean delegation is set to visit Sri Lanka seeking investment opportunities. And to bring in the trading details now, the all-share price index closed at 6,000. My apologies. On to the weather situation in the country right now. More than 74,946 people in 16 districts have been affected from the prevailing inclement weather condition. 6 persons have died while 1 person has been disappeared as a result of the present weather condition. The Met Department has said that the prevailing showery condition will gradually reduce from tomorrow. National Building Research Organisation has said that the precautionary landslide alerts issued for Kandy, Badulla, Monoragala district yesterday will be further continued as 68 housing units have been affected with complete damages while 1,601 housing units have been affected with the partial damages. 15,470 persons have been shifted to 109 temporary secure locations. Disaster Management Centre said that the essential relief measures will be provided continuously for the affected persons. The centre said that more than funds worth 19.9 million rupees have been allocated to provide relief for the affected families. The Met Department said that several spells of showers will occur in the northern, north central, Uva and eastern provinces and in the Hambantota district. Showers of thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening. Misty conditions can be expected in some places in the western, central and Sabaragamulo provinces during the morning. The Met Department has requested to the general public to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea areas extending from Kankasanture to Hambantota via Trincomalee and Batticaloa. The Met Department said that temporary strong winds up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour and rough seas can be expected during thunder showers.
And now the all shares price index closed at 6,053.12 points, increased by 21.31 points, and the S&P SL 20 index closed at 2,948.45 points, also increased by 20.76 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 132 million rupees. And now here is a summary of the market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange for today. And with that we conclude news live on Channel Live, and we wish all our viewers a peaceful and joyful Christmas Eve.